Being a shooter at its core, Warframe certainly has a few iconic and easily recognizable weapons, but I don't think any are as loved and as treasured as the Twin Grakatas, the weapon of choice of Clem. Or the weapons of choice of Clem. I never really got how that one works because it's a secondary weapon, but it's like two. Hey guys, welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar, and today we're going to be diving deeper into this Mastery Rank 9 secondary weapon. As per the usual, I'm going to have a cheap build, something affordable that most Denos should be able to build, but of course we're also going to have the quote-unquote endgame set up with a Riven and Prime mods, everything. That said though, please keep in mind that my builds and guides usually take a new player-friendly approach. I'm going to be taking my time and explaining whatever I feel is necessary for newer players. So in case you're a vet and you already know most of this stuff, please bear with me. Now with that out of the way, let's jump into the Twin Grakatas. Let's begin by having a look at how the weapon handles without any mods equipped. And for that, just a couple of free shots. The Prisma Twin Grakatas are a pair of automatic hit scan secondary weapons which will be able to fully pepper your target with a whole lot of bullets really quickly. But there are some prices to pay in usability for that advantage. For example, your reload is a bit on the lengthy side, actually a lot on the lengthy side, sitting at a 3 whole seconds, which can definitely get annoying in gameplay. But there are a couple of upsides as well. You get a magazine of 120 bullets and a fire rate of 20. When it comes to the accuracy of the weapon, well, I guess it's best to show you. Let's take our standard 15-meter test. Have a look. Now, most of the bullets will be landing within the crosshairs, but there are a distinct few that are slightly outside. It's not the recoil's fault, not really, because as you can see, the recoil is barely there. It just jiggles a little bit from place to place, but there will be some bullets which will be missed depending on the distance between you and your target. And that's pretty much it for usability. Let's have a closer look at stats to see exactly what we're dealing with. Mod capacity 60 out of 60, and if your comes with only 30 out of 30 jump into actions, plug in that auto king catalyst, double that mod capacity. Now you can pay 20 plat to have one installed, you can get one from Nightwave, you can get a blueprint from the daily sortie, and some events in Warframe also feature this auto king catalyst as a possible or guaranteed reward. Now my Twin Grakatas have been formatted a total of 6 times, but for the weapon build I'm recommending you can get away with 4, 5 if you have a Riven, even 3 if you don't want to use maxed out mods, but of course that's entirely on you. I overformat my stuff because I want to test a whole bunch of stuff. Accuracy on this one, 28.6, as you saw, it's decent. This is a standard accuracy really for a secondary weapon, but yes, some bullets will be landing outside of the crosshairs. If you want to alleviate that, you might want to go with targeting subsystem. This will help, and steady hands will also help. Let me show you the effect of steady hands on the accuracy, because essentially that's why you should use plus accuracy mod. Same 50-meter hand, there we go. You see? Now that, my friends, is a whole lot better than before. I think there's just like 1 bullet or maybe 2 bullets outside of the crosshairs. So even though this weapon doesn't really have a big recoil, again, it just jiggles a little bit from place to place, that recoil is the reason why you're missing some of your bullets, coupled together with the insane fire rate, of course, in the big magazine. So there you go, you can go for something like steady hands. The weapon Exilus mod slot is definitely worth unlocking. Now, I know it's a bit of a hassle to unlock this one, but in the case of the Twin Grakatas, it still has one more big usability issue that we haven't talked about: ammo consumption. It's got a 1200 bullet reserve, outside of the initial magazine, of course, but it still runs out of ammo, especially if you're gonna increase that fire rate. So going for Pistol Ammo Mutation or Prime Pistol Ammo Mutation is definitely a good idea. I don't like to use ammo mutations. I like to use carrier together with ammo case. That's a more classier fix if you ask me. And of course you always have the option of dropping a pad. You can just bind this to any of, like this, you know, I have a bind, see, for energy on my mouse. It's very easy, and you can do the exact same thing with ammo restorers. Now you think this might be a little bit wasteful, but they are extremely cheap to build, and you can build 100 of these at a time. So by all intents and purposes, you can go for ammo mutation, but I would go for this instead. There you go, the option, as always, my friends, is yours. Now that that's taken care of, critical chance and critical damage 25% with a 2.7x critical damage is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Mwah! Far above average. The problem with the weapon is not the critical stats, not even the status chance, 16.5, decent. Decent. The problem is this, you get only 20 damage. It's not a whole lot. So essentially, while you are peppering your targets, it's like a swarm of little bees. They don't do a whole lot, but if you take all of them together, you better run. So there you go. The fire rate 20, as you saw there, absolutely outstanding. The magazine, 120, multi-shot of 2. Okay, so no matter how lightly you touch your button, yes, a little bit of French, you're always going to be consuming at the very least 2 ammo, so bear that one in mind. Your status chance kind of gets divided between the two. It's still more than enough, and you will see exactly in practice how that status chance applies. It's fine, especially after the whole status chance changes and effect, of course. Trigger auto, and the damage will be impact, puncture, slash. Unfortunately, once again, the second biggest drawback to the weapon is the IPS layout. Highest is impact, followed by puncture, and followed by slash. But there is a little something we can do to fix that. But first, let's have a look at a standard build, shall we? And since we're speaking French, we got Deimos, straight out of France, with Hornet Strike, multi-shot with Battle Diffusion, as well as Lethal, Torrent, Critical Chance, Critical Damage, Pistol Gamma, Target Cracker. Of course, if you have the Prime mods, my friends, go for... Not everybody has Prime mods, so initially we're gonna showcase the weapon with normal mods. And we also got Pistol Pestilence. What gives? Only a single 60/60 mod? Well, this is the only mod that is present on like all of the variations of the builds, which is why we're keeping this one. If you don't have it, if you don't know where to farm it, buy MR9, although you should. It's the weird guide in the void. It's called Vor. Corrupted Vor, actually. He can't stop talking, just like me. That's not important. What is important is the continuation of the build. Let's go initially for something which I really don't want to do on this weapon. Go Viral Slash. That's the meta. Yay, let's go Viral Slash. Fine. We're gonna go with the 60/60 cold mod. Frostbite. And in the last mod slot, it's a no-brainer. It's a brand new mod introduced with the whole, whatchamacallit update. Deimos, yeah, Heart of Deimos, Carnis Stinger. It gets you 90% slash and 60% status chance. Meaning what? It's a win-win, right? It essentially kind of obsoletes main for the most part. It is 120 slash on this one. It will give you a higher proc priority for slash, but this will be even better than that. With 90% slash and that all-important status chance, this is quite the powerful mod for secondary weapons. And for a while I ignored it because, well, I ignored it. As for the Exilus slot, again, it's your call. As before, you want to go mutation, go for mutation. You want to go targeting subsystems, do that. But actually, as I demonstrated, steady hands makes sense on this weapon. And of course, this will be the initial build we're going to be testing on Corrupted Heavy Goons, level 120. No build for Ember, just to make sure she does not skew our test results. We're going to spawn in once again. Even though those targets were fine, but let's go. Straight for a headshot. This is the slash viral build, yes? Now, this is not how you play a Grakata, but I do it because I kind of like feel obligated to do it. There you go. You got 21 slashes, you got virals. It's not gonna kill the bloody target. Like I said before, because of the damage, it simply doesn't tick strong enough. 27 slashes with 10 virals. And this is not the way to play a Grakata, if you ask me. Any Grakata, even the Twin Grakatas. A Grakata and the Garakatas are known for more Dakka. And to get more Dakka, you need more fire rate, more bullets, all of that good stuff. And simply enjoy the weapon. But who am I to judge? If you really need to have a slash build on your Twin Grakatas secondary, this is the way to go. You go with Carnis Stinger and the 60/60 battle mods. You hit the target till about 50%, then watch the slashes deal the damage. If I was to hit a target till about 50%, then watch the slashes deal the damage, it's not really gonna kill most of the targets. But if I empty my magazine, then it's gonna kill them. So there you go. If you need something like this, go for something like this. I advise you forget about Viral Slash in the case of this weapon, especially if you're going down to Deimos. One last test. Empty that magazine, 24 slashes, 10 punctures, 10 virals, 10 everything, because they're capped at 10, except slash, that is. Now, my friends, what other options do we have for the Twin Grakatas? Damn, I would love to see a Prisma version of these, but that's not important. Well, we can go for the standard corrosive approach. Again, especially if you're going down to Deimos, since that's the content that is more popular now, we can draw Frostbite and go for, and Carnis Stinger, and go for Jolt. I'm sorry, this is not a cheap build. Jolt, unfortunately, is only brought by Barocketeer, the Void Trader, every couple of months. You can buy it from the trade chat. The price really fluctuates depending on when Baro brought Jolt last time. I would recommend you wait until Baro brings them and make sure you have a copy of all the 60/60 mods, and you're gonna prioritize Jolt and Voltaic Strike, since those two are not farmable from the game, only obtainable from Barocketeer. It has been like this since like forever, so there you go. Now, in that last mod slot, what can we do to add a little bit more humph to the weapon? You might say fire rate. Well, let's do it for kicks and jiggles. Yes, kicks and jiggles, definitely. We're gonna go with anemic agility, 90% fire rate, minus 15% damage. That takes away from your Hornet Strike. Even though that I still argue for secondary weapons, the Slinger of Guns would be a better idea because of the difference between the two. 50 fire rate. And now, my friends, that ammunition is just gonna vanish. Like, it's totally gonna vanish. And it's gone. 120 bullets in my target. So what, though? So what? It really didn't do all that much. And while this may be fun, and this may be extremely entertaining for lower levels, it's not that efficient. Keep in mind, the more you increase your fire rate on the Twin Grakatas, the more you bump in to that stupid 3-second reload. I don't know why it's 3 seconds. Maybe at the time of releasing this weapon, that was the way to balance it out. But right now, it just keeps the weapon back. Something like 2.2 would be more than enough. So what you could do, right, is take care of that reload. And if we were to look at reload mods, you can go to Prime Quick, right? Anybody use it? No. You can go with something like this, but what I usually go for and what I usually recommend is this mod right here. It's called Stunning Speed. With 40% reload speed and 30% status chance, it's gonna bring your reload down to 2.1. This is a quality of life improvement, an actual gameplay improvement, and I advise you explore it. See if you like it. But of course, that's not what you're interested in. You want more damage, and the answer is kind of simple. In this case, we are gonna go with another 60-60 mod. Of course, it's gonna be heat, the single most powerful, well, single element in Warframe right now, if you don't count slash and its effects in combination with that. That's another conversation for another time. So now we got heat and corrosive on the weapon. We got free 60-60 mods, and this is gonna be a fair bit more powerful. Even though that I do want to make the case for usability mods, especially as an option slot instead of even more damage. There you go. It killed the target. Yay! More Dakka, mama. Take a look at that. It is satisfying. It's definitely satisfying to keep on firing until your target is absolutely annihilated. It does feel powerful. It feels impactful. And it is satisfying for a while, in case I didn't point that out well enough. Now, let's be honest here. The performance ain't that great. It's simply not, but the question would be, or the question you guys pose a lot of the time, what if I don't have a fantastic Riven like you have? I don't have, for the record, these are loaners, not mine. But I do have Prime mods, because at the end of the day, a lot more players have Prime mods than they have Riven. So we're going to use the exact same build, and we're going to go with Prime Pistol Gamba and Prime Target Cracker, 71.8 crit chance with 5.7x critical multiplier. We're going to use the same free 60-60 mod approach. No Varo Slash. Enough Varo Slash. Enough. You got plenty of that down primary. Now, as you can see, I still have 40 bullets left in my magazine. That definitely makes a difference, my friends. Alright? And if I'm lucky enough to actually get the headshots, I can actually kill a target in a single magazine. But yeah. Prime mods do make a difference, which is why everybody's trying to get them. If you're a newer Tenno, if you're Mastering Rank 9, and if you don't have your Prime mods just yet, you get them from the same place you got your Jolt and Voltaic Strike from Battlecry Tier, the Void Trader. And if it comes down to a priority which is more important, go for Prime Target Cracker over Prime Pistol Gambit. But of course, you will need both of them. Last prio for this thing, okay? Prio 1 for these and Heated Charge, last prio for Quick Draw, and prio 2 for Fulmination. Rivens. There is one way to actually make the Grakata really have one hell of a punch, but it's gonna be through Rivens. This weapon is not popular anymore, even though once upon a time it used to be, which is why it's enjoying a Riven disposition, a 4 out of 5. And Riven prices for this, not really all that expensive, which means if you're a little bit lucky, or you have deep pockets, you can get something crazy like this. My friends, critical damage, critical chance, minus impact. Could it be better? Yes, it could. Yes, it could. It could have multi-shot. Multi-shot is king. But my friends, this is almost about as good as it gets. This MR16 unrolled Riven. Did you notice that? It's bloody unrolled. I hate it. It's amazing. It's a loaner from a friend. Take a look at the stats as well. 229 damage when you get like 220 from Hornet Strikes. So it's a 3-in-1 right now. It's a 3.2 in 1, something like that. If you don't count the benefit of minus impact, of course, taking impact off the proc table, it's a huge thing. It's absolutely fantastic. So let's see what an outstanding Riven can do to the Twin Grakatas. Let me make myself clear. I am not promoting Rivens. Definitely not. But I am fully aware that some of you will love these weapons to death. For whatever reason, you have an emotional attachment like I have for the Lex Prime, for example, right? Or something like that. And if you want to get the most out of them, you gotta go for Rivens. Yes. Especially for high dispo weapons such as this. A single magazine, 3 targets, easy with a whole lot of bullets missed. Look at that. Look at that. Bzzt, dead. Bzzt. Dead. What more can you ask for, my friend? Was that 4 targets? Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Get off the platform. Now, there's still one more thing which we can do. Bump up everything with Warframe buffs, and of course for that we're going to be using the ever so lovely Mirage Prime and her fantastic buffs. Even though Ember has outstanding buffs as well, but not for weapons, though. Not for weapons. Let's, actually we're gonna keep it like so, we're gonna go for Dark Mirage. I really need to update this fashion frame though. When it comes to heavily armored targets, you should go for Corrosive Projection. But if your build calls for whatever else, I don't know, maybe you have a cool build based on Growing Power, Donation, Physique, Energy Siphon because you're newer to Warframe, right? Then simply go for the aura that you want. It's not a crime to go without Corrosive Projection. Okay, fantastic. Now, when it comes to Arcanes, Arcane Avenger is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful, offensive arcane in Warframe. This is my own subjective opinion. It's a critical chance boost, bonus additive after, so that means it simply stacks on top of what you already have. It applies to your primary, secondary, and to your melee as well. 12 seconds is plenty of time. The one problem with Avenger is that it's an on-damaged effect, a 21% chance on damage. It's not the most great of activations, but it's gonna do the job just fine. The second Arcane, we're gonna go with Arcane Precision. This one is a lot more straightforward on headshot, 100% chance, so guaranteed a 300% damage to pistols for 18 seconds. Actually, believe it or not, the way that the mechanics are implemented, even with a 100% chance, you have like this little tiny chance of not getting the buff. It's weird. We'll talk about that some other time. But ignore what I said for now. These Arcanes are farmed from the third Eidolon down on Cetus. And if you can't be ours to go into Eidolon hunting for whatever reason, you have the option to buy them from the trade chat. And because Eidolon hunting is a lot more easier than it used to be, and there's events nowadays that make obtaining Arcanes a whole lot easier, the prices have gone down from what they used to be. Level 155, Corrupted Heavy Goon, so we bump up the level so they can hit me and I can get my buffs. We're gonna activate Mirage's 4 ability, which in my case, it's Empowered, and her 3 ability for an absolutely outstanding Eclipse buff. And one more time, the best animation in Warframe, her ever so lovely clone. I just touched it. Look, I did 6 bullet in that guy, and in that guy 4 bullet. I just touch, it die. I touch, it die. Look. Essentially, using the Twin Grakatas with a buffer frame such as Mirage, or with Mirage, is an exercise in patience. Because, of course, what you want to do is let loose and have fun and empty that magazine to that corrupted heavy gun. But you shouldn't. Because essentially what you're doing is wasting a whole lot of ammo. You don't need that. Look, I'm already reloading. You don't need that much ammo to absolutely annihilate these targets, as you can see. Just like 4 in the head will do it, and you got like a magazine of 120. And I think, my friends, that's gonna conclude the review for this outstanding old weapon. And I say outstanding, it's only really outstanding if you take into account the Riven. But once again, I do have somewhat of an emotional attachment to it, and I can't be 100% objective about it. It's great fun to use, but the problem that has always hounded me with the Twin Grakata is the same problem which hounded most players: ammo consumption. It gets annoying to keep on dropping pads from time to time. Okay, we're in the simulacrum, it's a control environment and all whatnot, but in actual missions, the fact that it runs out of ammo, especially in the exact moment you didn't want it to run out of ammo, can be a bit annoying. Again, it can be mitigated with pads. You can use Pistol Ammo Mutation or Prime Pistol Ammo Mutation. You can use Carrier with Ammo Case, but it still doesn't mean that it's not annoying when you go out of ammo. That said, if you can get over that fact, I believe you're gonna have a whole lot of fun with the Twin Grakatas, and hopefully someday we'll see a Prisma version. As always, my name is Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And if you got any sorts of feedback for me, by all means, my friends, drop it in the comment section down below. Also in the comment section down below, if you want to suggest any particular type of content. Now, In all honesty, I can't exactly promise you that it'll be done by next time or even within a week. But what I can promise you is that I will be reading through each and every comment. You can also find me on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all the usual places. And if you love the content, hey, consider supporting us via Patreon. But until next time, my friends, bye-bye.